We're sharing this video because you're about to celebrate your 100th birthday.
Right.
We could talk for a long time because there's a lot of stories in 100 years. Tell us a little bit about your early life, and then I'd like to focus on, your ministry and the places you've been, some of the people you've met.
Okay.
But tell us a little bit about your early life, with your parents and growing up. 1922.
Right.
And you were born?
Born in the parsonage in Rudyard, Michigan, in the UP.
In the UP. You're a true Uper.
Right. When I brought that article into the record, he looked at me, he said, "What does UP stand for?" "What's that?" I said, "Upper Peninsula." "Oh, he didn't know."
Was that a young man?
That's part of my vocabulary, talking about the UP.
So you were born in Rudyard?
Yes.
But soon moved?
When I was 2 years old, then Father accepted a call to the church in Cutlerville.
And that was Cutlerville Christian Reformed Church?
Yes. It was the only one at that time in Cutlerville.
1924.
We were only in Cutlerville for 5 years.
Okay.
So when I was 7, we moved to Portland, Michigan.
Okay.
And that's when I grew up.
That's high school? What high school were you
grade
at?
school, high school, college.
What percentage of the girls your age were going to college?
Well, most of the girls only went to college if they wanted to be a teacher or a nurse.
Okay.
Those were the two professions for
And your
women at that time.
Okay. And your goal was to be a teacher?
Mine was to be a teacher, yeah. However, lots of influence from my parents, of course. My mother was very interested in missions, so she had a big influence on my life.
So your father was a pastor in the Christian
Yes.
Reformed Church, and your mother was a big influence. So
Mother had worked in Grand Rapids with Johanna Feenstra,
really,
the one of the pioneers from Africa. So she had that kind of a background.
so that
With
was
no education, however. Her mother died young. She didn't even finish 8th grade,
okay.
but her heart was in it, and boy, she let her light shine everywhere she went.
Was that also perhaps why she encouraged you to
I think
get the
so.
education, because she didn't have that opportunity?
I
perhaps?
think so.
You've been an inspiration for a lot of people.
Well, she certainly was to me,
She was to you, yeah.
because of being a pastor's wife, she was expected to do various things at that time, and she did. I don't think anybody realized that she didn't have an education. She just
did it.
did it, yeah.
So from Calvin College to teacher at Zeeland Christian School, how did the world open up for you?
Yes, when we, Father got sick at Portland, and so, well, first we stayed in the parsonage hoping, and he was hoping, that he would get well enough to preach again and so forth. But as time went on, it was obvious that probably would not happen.
Okay.
Well, at that time, all pastors lived in parsonages, so we didn't have a house to go to. So Grandma here in Zeeland said, "I'm getting older, why don't you come and live here?" So they remodeled the house a little right there on Division Street, and Grandma lived upstairs and we lived downstairs. So that's what brought us to Zeeland.
Okay.
Then, when I graduated from Calvin, it was kind of handy to apply for a job at the school here.
Mm-hmm.
So I was given a job at Zeeland Christian.
Fantastic.
My little sister was going to school too. But when she got up to 4th grade, I didn't think that was smart to try and teach 4th grade with my sister there, because we had our scraps at home now and then, even though she was so much younger. It's a beautiful story how God brought her into our lives. Anyway, so I was looking around to see where I'd like to go, you know.
Okay.
So Mother comes into the picture and says, you always were interested in Indian cousins. There was always a section of the banner at that time. And I said, oh, well, I didn't object, but I didn't think too much about that. I better go back to school, you know, and learn how to be a missionary then. Well, they made an appointment with Dr. DeCorn at the time, and just to talk to him and see what's what. Well, he was all excited. He said, I've got 3 positions out there. Which one would you like? Just like that.
So you had your pick.
I had my pick, yeah. So on the way, Mother said, on the way home again, I hope you choose Rehoboth. I think that would be best. Well, I didn't know much about any of the 3, so okay, I'll do that. So off to Rehoboth.
Off to Rehoboth.
And that very year, they were having a anniversary celebration. Mom's on the train to go to Rehoboth to see what's happening to her daughter.
Fantastic. This is about 1946.
Yes, that was 46.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the war was just over.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it like to pack up and go halfway across the country or more, almost all the way across
the country, right? Yeah. First time we went by car with 2 or 3 others that were traveling out that way, and and the dust and all that in the schoolroom. So the first thing was clean it up, and then the little kids started coming, because I was going to teach 1st and 2nd grade Navajos.
1st and 2nd grade Navajo
Which meant
children.
they were coming right off the reservation. Yeah, they had to learn English. They had to learn how to sleep on a bed, not under it, and how to eat American food. And oh my, those little kids had such an adjustment to make.
Yeah.
But they were so receptive of me right away, you know. They came in, had to meet the new teacher, and see it, all of this. And that was really great.
So you were for some of them, probably the first English they learned, the first teacher they had.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm still conversing with them. Eddie Begay calls me every once in a while, brings me up to date on classmates and friends and so forth. It was a boarding school.
You had a teacher's quarter?
We called it the Mission House.
Okay.
But there were 10 of us that lived upstairs there.
Okay.
1 bathroom for 10 people.
ten women,
Yes.
teachers, all
Yes.
teachers, or mission and
Or,
teachers?
yeah, one
Okay.
position or another. Yeah.
Did you share bedrooms or each have your own
No,
room?
we each had our own at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
One bathroom, but
One bathroom at the end of the hall. And we had our meals with them too. So,
okay.
yeah.
Quite a family.
Yes, it sure was. There was a boys' dorm and a girls' dorm.
Okay.
And during that time it grew, and there was, I think, I'm pretty sure 50 in each
Okay.
dorm.
So, for example, you had how many students in your classroom? Maybe
Oh.
10?
No, 20,
20?
25, yeah.
You're teaching there, you're experienced, and all of a sudden some other opportunity comes up.
Exactly.
And how'd you feel about that opportunity? Tell us what that opportunity was.
Yes, I taught there 7 years. Yes. Okay, in the meantime, there was a group of Navajos living south on the Zuni Road that wanted a school. There was no more room at Rehoboth, and they wanted their children educated too. And they must have approached the officials at Rehoboth or Mission Board, I'm not sure, but anyway, the agreement was if they would build the building, the mission would furnish the teacher.
If you build it, we will come. Okay.
Yeah. So they built a lovely log cabin with a teacher my living quarters at one end of it, and the other was the large classroom. So we had church in there on Sunday, and we had school in there during the week. And
Okay.
I only had 14 students, but spread among the grades.
Which was a new challenge. You had been teaching first and second grade.
Right.
Was that the whole time?
Yeah.
And now you have first through
Six.
through sixth.
Yeah.
And you have this log
And,
cabin that's now.
when they presented that to me, I thought, no, that's not.
You jumped in the car, you were there like that, right? No.
I resisted that very much. Even my pastor, Poole, said, I don't think that's a place for you, Gertrude, stuck out in the hills there all by yourself. I don't think you fit there. But the Lord kept putting it on my heart. And every time those missions would come and say, what's your answer? I'd say, I don't think I'll fit there. And finally, the Lord won.
The Lord won.
Yeah. I knew I had to give in, no matter what people's advice was.
How did your mom feel about that?
Well, they came out the next year to see again. That was a challenge, being out there by myself. Then I bought a car, so I could come and go to Gallup once a week for groceries and such. And then I would go on the day when Rehoboth had their, I'll say prayer meeting, mission, Bible study, whatever, and stay for the evening and have fellowship with them.
So you had weekly fellowship with
I had weekly
your friends
fellowship
that
with
were
Rehoboth
at
people
home.
still.
That had to be rejuvenating.
Yeah, that's right.
But still, you're right in the middle of nowhere. I mean, pine trees and sheep.
That's right. Yeah, that's what it was. And get water from the well and outhouse, but I figured something out.
I also saw snow.
Oh, lots of snow. This was more than 7,000 feet up. Lots of snow. It's very cold up there in the winter. Yeah.
So, did you have what, burning
Yes.
stove in the classroom and your teacherage? Or?
Yes.
And who, you had to keep that stoked, and maybe got the 6th grade boys to help?
Exactly. They would chop, or the parents brought the wood in, and I'd have the boys bring in some into the school because I'd have to get up early to get that schoolroom heated before the students came. Yeah, that was rugged living.
Rugged living. Can you still picture it?
That I can.
The smells, the wood burning, and
yeah, and once in a while, the Navajo men would go into town and get drunk. But it was beautiful. Then the next day, their wives would come over. Did anybody bother you last night? No, nobody did. So even in their drunkenness, they had the knowing, go around this building. This building's protected from evil spirits.
The spirits knew that there was a higher spirit protecting you.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
How long did you serve
6
there?
years there.
6 years.
Yeah.
Any relationships you were able to keep with some of those
Yes.
Indians?
Yes. By mail especially.
Okay.
They don't call, they write.
Lifelong relationships
Right.
with students that you taught.
And it's beautiful to me because they'll often mention, I'm teaching my grandchildren the songs you taught us, or I'm doing this and that from the grandchildren because I learned this from you. Yeah, it's thrilling. Yeah.
From generation to generation in more ways than one, right?
Right. Yeah.
What led to the other part of the world?
Yeah. Okay.
How did you get to the other side of the world?
Right. Yes. God lays all these things out, and gradually I was graduating them,
Yeah.
Yeah. So the numbers were getting fewer.
Okay.
And there were not any babies coming just then. So they just didn't feel it was quite worth keeping it up.
Okay.
Maybe later again, but for a few years, no. We have some missionaries coming home from Africa for 6 months. Would you be willing to go and teach in Nigeria to cover that furlough for 6 months? I wrote in my weekly letter home that they had been there and had told me about that. Period. Didn't give them any reaction or anything at first. Mom said, you didn't fool me. That first letter, I knew what was happening.
She knew better, huh?
She knew. Gertrude will go away. So, but it was Africa where Johanna Veenstra had been. So she had some feelings toward that too.
Okay.
So they came out, helped me move off to Africa.
Which school were you at first in Africa?
In Africa, okay. It was in the city of Jos, which is sort of up on the plateau, and it's a center. The airport is there and so forth. And it's a place where missionaries go to get out of the heat in the bush, as
So-
we call them.
How did you get to Nigeria?
Flew.
You flew.
Long trip.
Long trip.
Yeah.
This was to be 6 months.
This was to be 6 months.
Did it?
Yeah.
Was it 6 months and then back home?
That's what they said. But each mission was supposed to supply a teacher for a certain number of students. And we had gotten many new families. So we needed to supply one more teacher than had been there the year before. So they said, "You're here now. Would you stay on for the extra teacher that they had to supply?" Well, yeah, I was just nicely getting adjusted and learning the ropes, etc. So
Some people.
that time my father wrote the letter. "What are you trying to do with my daughter? You told her she only had to be there 6 months, and now you want her to stay." That turned into 15 years.
Wow.
And the pattern was 6 months home, 2.5 there. So every 3 years.
So
Yes,
that was a
so-
similar furlough as the missionaries had?
Yeah, yeah. hmm
Okay.
So 59, 62, 65, 68, 71, 74.
Okay.
That was my life. You could do everything by threes.
Pretty good meter to have to measure your life. And I saw some pictures of a large mission school, lots of kids, lots of
Yes.
missionaries.
Yes.
And this is 12 different churches, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
And at one time, we had CRC 75 children there.
Wow.
Yeah. There was a time when they were building more training places down Bush, and
Okay.
churches were being established and so forth, and so the missionaries were coming.
74.
Isn't that wonderful, God's ways. Oh,
You
yeah.
have a couple things next to you there.
Yes, I do.
Those
Uh-huh.
are from Africa, I think.
Yeah, these are from Africa. This ebony wood is King Ebony. Is
Heavy.
used a lot for carvings. This is especially big one. I've got little elephants at home too. But yeah, beautiful carvings of all different things. Yes, and then I just took this along, palm trees and huts and so forth.
When you think of Africa, what do you think of?
What do I think
What
of?
do you think of? What are your most vivid memories of Africa? Is it the school children? Is it
Yeah,
getting
children,
out and seeing
parents.
parents?
Whenever there was a break, I would go down and visit the other mission stations
Okay.
where these children lived, where their parents lived and worked. So I got to see most of the area where Christian Reformed Church works.
Wonderful. Did you have your own transportation there?
I did. I did. But if I went that
Well,
far,
it probably wasn't a Ford.
the
What did you
mission plane.
drive?
then I would use the mission plane.
Okay. Do you remember what vehicle you had?
Oh yes, an Opel,
Oh,
British car. And at that time, Nigeria was driving on the other side of the road too. So get used to that. Then when I came home in '74, my neighbors here, it was Reverend from Faro. Anyway, they were very helpful neighbors, said to me, Gertrude, we think you ought to come home and take care of your parents.
Okay.
They are elderly, they need help. So
That was
I came home. I was home 5 years then, and then there was another request to go back to Africa. So then I put in 3 more years.
so back in '79, about then.
Then Kortenhovens came to me and said they would like a teacher. Now they lived in Sierra Leone,
Aha.
so their son Aaron wasn't exactly autistic, more dyslexic, but anyway, he didn't fit in a boarding school.
Okay.
So would I consider coming and living with them and helping Aaron? So that was Sierra Leone. Oh yeah, Liberia. That was the other one.
Liberia.
Yeah, Liberia, I was by the ocean side.
When were you in Liberia? Was that before or after Sierra Leone?
Before.
Before.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Sierra Leone, where the Kortenhovens lived, was 200 miles inland.
Okay.
So that was a rugged trek. Sometimes we had to make our own bridge over a stream or something to get to. And I thought, oh boy, we're gonna stay here for a while. But that was another blessing. Aaron snapped out of it. They gave me credit, but I don't think so. I think as he grew,
Okay.
that it just
developed.
developed. Yes,
That's great to hear.
he's been at university. He's just, boy, he's going places all the time. I think that was my 95th birthday. They invited me for the day on my birthday
Oh.
and brought their family there. Oh, what a day that was. See Aaron and his wife and his children and his sisters. And, oh my. Anyway, that's all kind of sides.
Well, actually, it's the whole story, right? I mean, the fact that people that you were connected with and able to teach, and now they're inviting you back to their house on their 95th birthday.
Yeah, the Liberia experience, we had a mission there. There were 6 missionary families. Owens, for instance.
Would you go back tomorrow if someone gave you a plane ticket?
If my health and my balance and my yeah, actually Marguerite Brines
Okay.
from here wanted to meet me, so she flew out there.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's right.
so I took her up country and let her experience some of this.
Steve's gonna get you a ticket. Where are you going back to? Are you gonna go to Jos? Are you going to South Africa? Only can visit once. Liberia, Nigeria.
Well, Liberia had a coup, so all of us got out of there.
That's right.
All of us. I don't think we have any missionaries there.
So
I
where are
don't
you
think-
headed back to on your one more plane ticket to Africa?
Sierra Leone is, I don't know if that's a safe place right now either. So
Speaking of
I
safe-
guess Jos, but the stories that come in the letters that I'm getting, whew, Fulani and Tive, the Fulani are herders, They want land for their camels. Tea are farmers. They're not going to give up land. They want to grow their crops. So there's that tension all the time. They talk about terrorists, but that isn't exactly what they're fighting about.
You mentioned safety. Did you feel safe when you were in Africa?
Yes, I really did not fear, even though I lived through 5 coups. We actually hid some people during the Biafran War. They called that was 30 months, 2.5 years of fighting.
Wow.
We actually hid some of the people that they were searching out, and helped them escape to get back to a different area in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Our African helpers knew who was hiding in the attic and would bring them food during the night. But that was risky business. We were very careful. The children out for recess, we were very guarded for that too.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm glad my parents didn't know about that. Oh.
Yeah. There's more to the story.
Oh, there's more.
That's already been a pretty full life.
Oh, yes.
But you're back in Zealand here. Your parents have passed away.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And is Zealand Christian next, or is there something else in the middle here?
Well, no, I tried some other things. I helped at the nursing home a while. I was activity director.
Oh, okay.
I would lead some Bible studies, and I'd get in speakers, and I'd do this and do that. Yeah. And I think it was Mary, but I'm not positive, said, why are you, looking at all these things? You're a teacher. Oh, yeah. All right. So, went over to Zealand Christian once, and Carol Keene was the one I met with, and when she found out I was a teacher, she said, oh, you're a godsend. Bill Van Dyke gave me 5 names, and none of them can do it. You've got the background, and you've got, sure, we sure can use you. Okay. So I helped Barb Newman for a while with disabilities. Then I was with first graders for a while, and so on. And then Julie Walters for a while. They had, I think they call it collaborative. Anyway, they're in school 3 days and home 2 days.
Yep.
And with 6 grades, kindergarten through 5th. That was a one-room school, like I grew up with. But that's a handful. I just enjoyed that. It was delightful. I felt I was really being useful.
Yeah. What year did you start at Zealand Christian?
95.
95, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. From 22 to 95, that's 73.
And this was until the
Most people are
COVID.
kicking back saying, let's go play golf, and Gertrude takes a job as a teacher.
Yeah.
'Cause you had
Yeah,
work.
and I thought, now 25 years, it's time to retire. And I didn't know how to do it. I did not want a party with speeches, et cetera, et cetera. But how could I avoid it? I know Zealand Christian. They never let things like that slip by. Oh, Sherry Tibby called, said, Gertrude, I just cannot find the right niche for you, the right place. And I said, oh, thank God. I will retire. She said, are you serious? I said, absolutely. Absolutely. I've been waiting for a chance like this. I'm going to retire today. So the next day, flowers from Don's, congratulation notes on my retirement, all of this. I said, thank you, God, thank you. No party, no speeches, no nothing. I got it.
25 years at Zealand Christian School, 15 years in Africa, 13 years
18 in Africa.
18 in Africa, yeah, it was 15 plus 4. 13 in Rehoboth,
In New Mexico.
New Mexico,
Yeah.
and here, there, and a few other things.
Yeah.
Pretty full life for a young woman.
Isn't it though? God is so good. Yeah. Led me so many places. Kept me safe. I never, some were dangerous places.
Yeah.
But I was safe.
Would you do it all over again?
Yeah, I think I would. I enjoyed each part. Whatever I was in, I enjoyed.
Is that part of your advice for us? Do you have any parting advice for us?
Oh.
To enjoy and
Do as God leads.
do as God.
Yeah, it was him all the way. I'm not one to initiate much myself. I have to get pulled. Sometimes a long pull. But then when I say yes, all of a sudden that burden is gone, and there's peace, and there's release and joy. Yeah, right away. Yeah.
Praise the Lord for your 100 years, Gertrude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that a gift?
Thank you for sharing this time with us.
I don't know if that's what you looked for, but anyway.
No, it's perfect.
Oh.